Tonight, we are live at Stadium Australia as the Matildas prepare for their date with destiny. Our heroes take a final moment to relax and focus with a team walk, while some soak up the atmosphere by playing tourist. The nation drapes itself in green and gold, ready to cheer our World Cup giant killers on to victory. A rare interview, we speak to superstar Sam Kerr's parents ahead of her most important game ever. Injured Matilda Chloe Lagazzo takes us inside the team's preparations and reveals how much the nation's support means to the players. The astounding success of the mighty Matildas brings growing calls for women in sport to be paid the same as men. And Tim Sheen stands down as coach of the West Tigers to make way for Benji Marshall.
This is 10 News First with Sandra Sully.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to a very special edition of 10 News First. We are, of course, live from where the mighty Matildas will face their toughest test yet in just 3 hours' time when they take on England for a place in the World Cup final. We have full team coverage with reporters at live sites as the whole nation gets behind our team. And we have all the angles covered, of course, with the very latest on how the players are dealing with this intense pressure and how they're planning to bring down the old enemy. Taylor Ryan begins our coverage.
Semi-final morning in Sydney. Fans and Matildas alike started their day over coffee. An extra shot might be warranted as our hero footballers prepare to take on England.
I think they have the fighting spirit in them, especially you can tell they want it, they're hungry for it at home.
A smiling Mary Fowler, Australia's heroic goalkeeper Mackenzie Arnold, and fan favourite Sam Kerr, all taking a relaxed approach to their morning and savouring the support of millions.
For them to be in a position where they've got, this amount of support, they're not used to it, but they're very much welcoming it.
The most loyal fans are, of course, the players' families. Gary Van Egmond, father of Matilda's midfielder Emily, one of the many proud parents who'll be watching in the stands tonight.
We just went for a walk and had a coffee and just caught up. She's feeling good and she said all the team's feeling great and looking forward to it.
The well-wishers transcend sporting codes. This message from the Wallabies, bound for their own World Cup in France.
I'm sure they'll kill it. Should be good. The whole nation will be watching. We'll be tuning in. Good luck.
Standing in the way of victory is England, with a few brave fans among the masses of green and gold. But the roar from inside Stadium Australia is expected to drown out even the loudest lionesses.
They might be carrying the weight of the nation on their shoulders, but there's certainly no sign of pre-game nerves for our Matildas, out for a relaxing game day walk, just like they would before any other match.
Any rocky nerves remedied by love from every corner of the country, including Ellie Carpenter's school in Cowra, New South Wales. Fans of Hayley Rasso will be cheering as loud as they can, all the way from the Gold Coast at her former high school. With 3 goals to her name this tournament already, the Matildas' hero will be aiming for...
It was for a school. These kids have now got something to aspire to and dream to in the future.
And these kids are confident our Matildas will be waltzing their way to a win tonight.
Australia, definitely, because they have really good team spirit.
The Matildas.
How much?
4-0. 4-0.
5-0.
5-0.
I reckon it'll be close.
All signs pointing to a Matildas victory. Having already made history getting this far, our stars of the field will have the whole country behind them as they fight for a chance to win Australia's first ever World Cup.
Sandra, we're only hours away from kick-off here at Stadium Australia, and as you can hear, the atmosphere is already building. It's hard to describe the feeling that's in the air here this evening. To say that it's buzzing would be an absolute understatement. We've got thousands of fans already making their way into the stadium, savouring every moment of what will be a history-making night for our Matildas, and everyone's confident that the girls have what it takes to go all the way in this World Cup. Of course, the last time we saw them play, it ended in an absolute nail-biter, and everyone here this evening is hoping that tonight doesn't end with extra time or penalty kicks. But what we do know is that the Matildas can handle whatever pressures this game throws at them. Sandra, we've beaten England once before. What do you think, guys? Can we do it again? Yeah! I think we can do it again.
Of course we can. Thanks, Taylor. Well, there is a mix of excited confidence, and as Taylor mentioned, nail-biting nerves. How can there not be after Saturday's event? Nail-biting nerves across the country tonight as fans everywhere get ready to cheer their lungs out, hoping to get the Tillies over the line. Alice Hogg is at one of the very big Sydney fan sides. Alice, you've seen the atmosphere here. Surely it's building there too.
Football fever is building tonight here, Sandra, at Tumbalong Park at Darling Harbour. The live fan side has only just opened, and as you can see, the crowd is already building. But for fans, young and old, they've been readying themselves for this occasion all day. Some schools even ditched their school uniforms in turn for green and gold gear as children showed off their own sporting skills. But getting your hands on any of this green and gold merchandise is proving to be a competitive sport in itself, with the unprecedented sales of Matilda's merch. eBay says the sales of scarves alone has soared a staggering 2,650% after the Matilda's weekend win. And now anybody putting on one of those scarves tonight, or even a jersey or a hat, has plenty of options as to where they can go to view tonight's game, with fan sites opening up right around the city and state. Even some film cinemas are offering free screenings for fans, as Matilda's mania is felt right around the city.
All right, Alice, thank you. Thanks, Alice. With almost half the Matildas squad actually hailing from Queensland, fan excitement is at fever pitch in the Sunshine State, as you'd expect. So let's bring in Natalie McGarry, who is live at a site at Surfers Paradise. Nat, there are plenty of public places to watch all the action tonight.
That's right, Sandra. Plenty of places for people to go tonight. We've got King George Square, South Bank, and yesterday the government opened up River Stage as well, so 9,000 capacity crowd can be held there. On the Sunshine Coast, we have Sunshine Coast Stadium open, and then right here in the heart of the Gold Coast, Surfers Paradise. We just started to see fans slowly starting to mill down at Cavill Avenue in preparation for the big game. Certainly a lot of excitement in the air here. Now, you might have noticed I have a red and white scarf. Don't be mad at me. I was hoping if I got one of these, I might be able to attract some English fans, but I haven't seen any yet. So here's hoping our Tillies can get the job done.
Indeed, let's hope so. Right, Nat, thank you. While the excitement has been building all day here, it is breakfast time in England, where fans are preparing for a mid-morning match. Reporter Tim Morgan joins us from enemy territory in London. Tim, how's the confidence there?
Look, I can't bring myself to say the words, but there is a hope over here in England that football is coming to a place, well, let's just say it rhymes with Rome. I'm at Highbury Wolves, a club that not too long ago only had one female player. Now they have hundreds, and part of that has to go down to the success of the Lionesses. They're running off the nerves this morning with a little bit of a match between themselves before they'll head in for a watch party, and it must be said they're optimistic that England can book their spot in the final.
Well, I think on paper, obviously England being European champions, they'll probably be considered the favourites. But obviously we know that the Aussies, you have the home advantage with your support, and the atmosphere, you know, is expected to be electric.
I think the defence is really good, and if they just keep that up, then the other team won't be able to attack.
Yeah, I'm optimistic that they're going to win because they've been playing very well. I've been waking up very early to watch their games because of the different time zones and that. But yeah, I'm optimistic they're going to win.
Now, kickoff is 11 a.m. in the morning on a Wednesday here in England. Still plenty are expected to head to the pubs today. Also, employers have been told to be flexible, allow their employees to take the day off or even work remotely so they can support this English team.
They'll need all the help they can get, Tim. Now, with the spot on the final on the line, how can we expect tonight's big game to play out? Let's bring in our football correspondent, Bence Hammerley. Bence, you've been with this team every step of the way. Sam Kerr, that's a big question tonight. Will she play a full game in this World Cup?
I think it's highly unlikely. I mean, that's been the most closely guarded secret in the country, hasn't it? So we'll find out for certain about an hour before kickoff. But given that the last game went to extra time and Sam probably played half an hour more than they might have anticipated, I think that makes it unlikely. I mean, there's two schools of thought, right? Like, do you put Sam on and see what damage she can do and then bring her off? Or do you want to finish with your best 11 and also wait for the roar of that crowd when she comes on? And I think that's what Tony Gustafsson will go with. We're in safe hands anyway with Fowler, Razzo, Caitlin Ford, all of those people flying. We're in safe hands up front.
Now the time is drawing near. You know a lot of these players, you know them well. You've got some insight and intel into what they actually do in this crucial 1 or 2 hours leading in. What are they doing now?
Well, they're trying to pass the time basically, but right now the Matildas are trying to convince themselves that this is just an ordinary game when, of course, it is anything but. But there's a lot of experience in this side now. There's quite a few Centurions in the team. They will be doing what they normally do to get up for a big game, and once they get on the bus shortly, each player will be telling themselves, you know, what is my role today? What does Tony want me to do? Who am I marking? What do I need to do to make sure that as a team we progress?
Our team's taking on the European champions. Tactically, how can we beat them? Where are their weaknesses?
Well, there's not many. I mean, this is top talent stuff they're bringing at us. As you say, they are the European champions. We have 10 players who play in the Women's Super League in England. They have 20, right? And the others play at Bayern Munich and Barcelona, including the world's most expensive player, Kira Walsh. Under their coach at the moment, Serena Wiegman, they've conceded 14 goals in 2 years. So they are hard to break. The feeling it's going to be another one of these really tight matches and, you know, one of these nights where we age like 3 years in 90 minutes.
All right, well, we'll be aging together. All right, Vince, thanks as always.
Thank you, pleasure.
Behind the roaring success of our Matildas, there are so many stories of heartache, with a number of players cruelly missing out on being a part of this World Cup squad. Chloe Lagazzo was one of those, injury derailing her chances of being part of the tournament, but she knows better than most just how this team is feeling ahead of the biggest game of their lives. I sat down for a chat with her a short time ago.